Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another coffee time. Today I'm here to talk to you about some of the Netflix kind of true crime stories that I have been binging in the last couple months. I try to watch all the documentaries that they bring up about true crime stories, so this is going to be some of the last true crime stories that I have been binging that are non-fiction.
It's coffee time.
Alright, so I have a total of 6 documentaries or limited series that you can find right now on Netflix that are telling the story of true crimes. So before we jump into those, if you love horror, if you love collectibles in general in movies, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more coffee times. I'm going to be mentioning the documentaries just on the order that I have watched them, so no particular order really. The first one is a limited series called The Innocence Files. Now this has been done together with the organization, the Innocent Project, and it is about some people that were convicted for crimes that they apparently never committed, and you know how that affected their lives. Why were they committed? Were any of the evidence falsified? Can the evidence be strong enough in these cases? The Innocent Project is an entity that is trying to go through old convictions and try to find cases that look so bad, persecuted, that it seems they never had enough evidence to go and get this guy a life sentence. And it is really heartbreaking to see how easy it was back in the day to incriminate people. I don't know if it's as easy nowadays, but back then, like when DNA tests only could give you the type of blood, but you could not really identify an individual. So if your type of blood was the same as the criminal, where you're done. And one of the things that really fascinated me about this limited series was how they talked about if bite marks are valid as an evidence or not, or how easy it is to fake bite marks on a corpse. And I was really shocked by some of the discoveries that they made about bite marks. And we all know them because they were, I believe the first time they were used to really convict somebody was on the trials with Ted Bundy. But seeing this documentary, it's kind of opening your mind to possibilities. Anyways, I really enjoyed this one, but it is really sad as well because some of these men were convicted for really heinous crimes they never committed, and the actual perpetrators were never caught. This limited series actually has a total of 9 episodes. I gave this limited series 4 stars rating. I thought it was really well done, and it was a good way of explaining things and showing just how the case was treated, how the evidence was treated, without really taking much sides. But you can totally tell that obviously this is heavily influenced by the Innocent Project. However, I still think that it is a really good limited series to check out if you're interested in true crime in general. Next, we have one of my new favorite shows on Netflix, which is Unsolved Mysteries. We already have season 1 and 2. They both came out relatively close to each other, and each season has a total of 6 episodes. I didn't know, but apparently this was an American show that was on television, I believe in the 80s. At some point it was cancelled in 1999. Then they brought it back to life, I think around 2008, but then it was cancelled again in 2010. So I never even knew this show existed, probably because I was not raised in the US, so it's not a show that I've ever watched. So the first time that I came across this was on Netflix, and now I kind of want to find all of those old episodes. And the show, I believe, was created at the beginning to try to find missing people, try to get the help from the regular people that are home watching it that might recognize somebody or a house or a car. And at the end of every episode they give you like you know, this text of, if you have any, you know, memories of these, or if you know where this person is right now, please let us know. And it has apparently helped to solve some unsolved mysteries. And the show title is basically telling what it's about. Every episode is a different story about gruesome murders or crimes. There's even one about aliens, and it's all related to mysteries or crimes that were never really solved. Some of them are extremely, like, it's insane to think that something like that happened. When they explain it to you, you're like, that doesn't add up, you know? It's like, it's just so fascinating to me. This is one of my new favorite things to watch unsolved mysteries. I really love it because these cases are so bizarre sometimes, and you kind of question yourself and think, what the heck happened? I also gave Unsolved Mysteries a 4 stars out of 5, and I also gave 4 to the next one, which is Athlete A, and it is about the case of Larry Nassar, who was a doctor treating young girls that were in the US gymnastic team, and how he was accused of abusing these girls for years, and nobody had said anything. They were all kind of covering him up. Now, this has a very sensitive topic, which is rape culture, and how people are enabling that culture, how people are covering up these things. And it's just so heartbreaking to me that nobody is thinking about the girls. They're all thinking about covering up their butts, their reputations, and it's just sad. And I feel so bad for these girls that they were too young to know what was happening to them. And I hope, like with documentaries like these, people are going to be encouraged to speak up when these things happen. So the documentary has old footage and new footage with interviews, and it's really good put together. There are some of the girls that are speaking up and telling their stories, which shows how strong they are, and it is not something easy to talk about. But I think this is a really well done documentary, even though the topic is very dark. Next we have Murder to Mercy, the Centoya story, and I gave this one only 3 stars. I did like it, but I felt like it was a little bit more over the place when it comes to the editing and putting the story together, and it was a little bit, you know, it was not so well organized in my opinion. We're following the story of this 16-year-old, and she basically killed a man, and the reason why she appealed to court was to say that she had killed him because she felt threatened for her life, which nobody believed, and she kept appealing and trying to change her sentence. And one of the things that they were using to achieve this was, you know, to portray the really dark family atmosphere she had, like her background, where she was coming from, what she was forced to do to strangers. And it is kind of opening up the discussion of, you know, do all teenagers that commit such a crime, like, you know, murder in first degree, deserve to be locked down for their whole lives, even if they're just 16, or do they deserve the chance to still kind of change the course of their lives because they are still young, and maybe there is a possibility of still kind of, you know, try to put them back together and then release them again into society. So it is a very sensitive topic, and I'm pretty sure everybody has their own opinions on it. I thought the documentary was interesting, but it was not as good as other documentaries that I have seen on Netflix. The next one is one of the ones that has had the biggest impact on me because I was not familiar with the story. It is American Murder, The Family Next Door, and I gave this one 3.5 stars. This is based on the Watts family in Colorado and what happened when the pregnant wife disappeared together with her 2 small children. So the documentary is really interesting because it combines real footage with new things that have come up and some reenactment parts. And honestly, as the story progresses, you kind of start changing your mind about what could have happened, and the ending is extremely heartbreaking and hard to swallow. Like I said, I was not familiar with this case, so I went into it completely blank, and I was at the beginning, you know, you always have your theories. They start to explain to you how she disappeared, the possibilities of what might have happened, why she didn't take her phone with her, why nobody has seen her, and it just progresses into a darker and darker and darker story. And the last one that I watched is called Roll Red Roll, and I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. This is based on a backwards town where people, you know, the way of thinking was appalling to me. This is about a group of teenagers, a group of teens that raped a girl at a party, filmed it, made pictures, made fun of her, but then kind of the coach, because they were of course from the team, the coach and everybody was trying to make this story look less you know, less bad than it actually was. And sometimes, you know, these rape culture that is telling us that, you know, well, she went to the party, well, she drank the alcohol herself, like they are trying to justify the actions of the perpetrators of the crime, and they forget the victim a lot of times. And this documentary is gonna make you so mad, because even some of the girls that knew this, the girl that was raped, are saying, well, she went to the party, right? Like, well, she drank the alcohol, right? And I'm like what the F? Like, it's just, it was appalling to me. Like, I was shocked by the things I was hearing. People were just justifying the rapist, saying that, you know what, it's kind of what she deserved or what she was looking for. And that was just, it made me mad. Okay, this documentary made me mad. I think it is decently put together, but you're gonna hate a lot of the people that talk in this documentary. So just letting you know, heads up. Alright you guys, so these are some of the last documentaries that I have been checking out that are based on true crime stories. Let me know down below if you'd like to check out these kind of documentaries and which ones are your favorite. Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up, and if you want to follow me on the social media, as always, the links are down below, and I'll see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!